to be making up a little treat for Halloween or Christmas, you know, whenever you want them really. Now what we're going to be making is poisoned apples. Now when I say poisoned, I don't mean they're going to kill you or they're really poisonous. They're absolutely delicious. You might know them as toffee apples or candy apples. Now to make these poisoned apples, what we're going to do is to cook up some sugar and water and make a really nice syrup that is going to be your candy. Add a little bit of colouring in, a little bit of vinegar, and just cook it until it's just gone to the right temperature, and then it's perfect for dipping your apples in. So to make these poisoned apples, I just want to quickly run you through the ingredients we're going to use. Now I've got my apples, just use eating apples, ones you like. I mean, ones you like the flavour of. You can use red or green, whatever you want. I'm going to do a little bit of a mixture. Now with the apples, leave the skins on, just wash them and, you know, pull the stalk out so they're ready to go. Make sure you dry them as well. Then we've got these wooden sticks. These are actually wooden chopsticks and these are lollipop sticks. Whatever you can get hold of. You know, the chopsticks are good because they're nice and long, because what you don't want to do is touch the candy because it is going to be really hot. So be careful. Use long sticks if you can. Then I've got some caster sugar. It's like granulated sugar but just a little bit finer. It sort of dissolves a little bit quicker. Now I'm actually going to use cup measurements there. So I'm going to use 4 cups of caster sugar. And then I've got some plain water, cold water, and I'm going to again use 2 cups of plain water. Then I've got some food colouring. Now I've chosen to do mine a sort of ghoulish green for Halloween. But obviously if you're doing it for Christmas, maybe you want red ones. We're going to use just a little bit of, you know, the food colouring, 2 teaspoons of that. Cinnamon, I'm not actually going to add any cinnamon, but again, if you're doing Christmassy ones, add a little bit of cinnamon and it'll just, you know, make a really sort of Christmassy feel to it. A little bit of vinegar. You could use white wine vinegar. I got cider vinegar there. And we're just going to use again 1 teaspoon, which is nearly a capful. And then I've got some grease-proof paper, like parchment paper, because what we're going to do is once we've made up this candy and we've dipped the apples in, we're just going to place them onto the grease-proof paper so they don't stick to the table. So there's all the ingredients. Let's get on and go and make the candy. Now to start with, I'm just going to pour in all that sugar, and again, same with the water. So I'm just going to switch the heat on, put it on a high heat, bring it to the boil and make sure you stir continually. So I've been stirring my mixture continually and it's just starting now to come up to the boil, look at that. Now it's come to the boil, what we can do is add in the vinegar, the food colouring and the cinnamon if you're going to use it. And first of all, I'm going to put in couple of teaspoons of food colouring, obviously doing mine green. Then I'm going to add the vinegar, again about 1 teaspoon of that. And if you're going to add cinnamon, this is a good time to add it as well. Now while we've got the candy cooking away there, again give it the occasional stir, we're just going to go over to the table and just prepare the apples and get the sort of grease-proof paper all ready, because when this candy is all done you've got to work fairly quick. So let's just prepare all the apples, put the wooden sticks in and get the baking paper all laid out. So now we've got the candy cooking away in the background, give it the occasional stir. What we're going to do is to get on with preparing the apples. Now I'm going to use these chopstick wooden sticks and just push them right through really. So I'll just continue doing that with all of them. Make sure they're in there fairly well. I mean obviously if you've got the little lollipop sticks you could use those. Maybe we could use those on the smaller ones. The reason I like the long sticks is because we're dealing with something really hot, this candy, you don't want to get it on your skin. So the long sticks are really good if you can get those chopsticks, wooden ones. So I'll just carry on and do all the rest and now we'll be ready and we'll just get the grease-proof paper out and we're ready to go. So I've got all the apples ready to go with those sticks in there. Now I'm just going to move those back and we're going to lay the grease-proof paper over the table for ready when we've dipped them in, we can lay it on the paper. So I've just got my grease-proof paper, just quickly lay that down, that's all ready for when we put the apples. So now we've got the apples prepared with those wooden sticks and got everything laid out, ready to dip these in the candy. Just give the pot, the mixture, a good little stir now and again just to make sure we're getting it all mixed up. Now it's starting to look good. I mean, how do we know it's done? Well, first of all, the actual bubbles start to get smaller And also it starts to stick to the spoon, and we can do a little test in a minute. What we'll do is we'll drop some into some cold water, and if it sort of goes brittle, that's perfect, and that's when you want to take it off. If it's still a little bit pliable when you put it in the water, then it's not quite ready. Now if you was using a thermometer for making the candy, then temperature wise between 300 to 310 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we've just got to make sure the candy's about right. Now we're just starting to creep up to about the 20-minute stage, so we can test a little bit in the water and, you know, see if it's ready. So let's just get a little bowl of water next door, and what we do, just get a little bit and just dribble it in there like that. Now let it cool down before you pick it up, because it is still really hot, just, you know, for a few seconds or so, and then we can pull it out. Let's just try that. Do you know, I think we're pretty much there actually. That's taken about 20 minutes. So I'm now going to turn it off the heat, and we're going to make up these lovely poisoned apples. So I've turned mine off, and I'm going to put it over the table. Make sure you've got something to put it on, because obviously it is going to be really hot. Now you need to tilt it very slightly and just roll your apple. So you've got plenty on there. Again, I'll just carry on doing that. But we do need to work fairly fast, because otherwise it will start to go a little bit hard. So just keep rolling it around. And you just put them there. Now I've moved the pot out of the way, but if you use a spoon, if you want, you can just very carefully kind of dribble a bit on. If you want. I mean, you might want to leave it nice and smooth, but it looks quite good sometimes. You just let some dribbles come down. So I'll do that with some of these. That'll do. There you go, all ready to go. So I just leave those. Now you need to leave these for at least half an hour, maybe an hour. I had a little bit of mixture left, not too much. The best way of cleaning it out is boil your kettle, make it nice and hot, and then you can tip it away, because it'll obviously be nice and runny. It kind of melts it all again. So boil your kettle. So I've left me poisoned apples, my toffee apples, candy apples, for about an hour. So, you know, they should have sort of hardened up a little bit. So let's try one of them. So I'm just going to try one of these, see which one, maybe this one over here. That's the idea of having this paper, it comes off nicely, but look at that one. Beautiful. You can always trim that off if you don't want to serve it up with that, but let me just try a bit of that. That is really nice. Crunchy outside, beautiful. Let's just pull it off. Look at that. Lovely. Really nice. And obviously if you want to make it red instead of a sort of greeny colour, just use red colouring. Great for Christmas, a little bit of cinnamon, beautiful. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Really nice. Now one last thing I want to say before I go, even though these look really good to do with the kids, I wouldn't recommend you get children anywhere near it, because, you know, when you're making up that syrup, it is really, really hot, and it will just burn you if you get it on your skin. So be very careful, take it easy, and safety at all times. Happy Halloween, and thanks for watching.